A young mother's final words appeared online for everyone to see, an ordinary Facebook post that would soon turn into the center of a chilling mystery. Hours later, silence replaced her voice. 23-year-old Nucky Sylvester, a mother of three, vanished from social media and from life itself. What pushed her to the edge? Were there signs missed by those closest to her? As investigators traced her last online activity and messages, a disturbing series of events began to unfold, exposing hidden truths that no one expected. If you are drawn to true crime stories that reveal hidden truths, we invite you to subscribe. Your support enables us to share real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to those who can no longer speak for themselves. Before we begin, tell us in the comments where you are watching from and share your thoughts as the story unfolds. Welcome to Spotlight Crime, a place where we examine cases that shake communities and reveal what often remains hidden behind closed doors. Real stories, real people, real impact. Subscribe today and turn on notifications so you won't miss what comes next. Nucky Sylvester was a 23-year-old mother of three residing in Louisiana. She grew up in a modest neighborhood where most residents knew one another by name. Her early life was marked by responsibility at a young age. She became a mother in her late teens and quickly adapted to a life centered on caring for her children. Family members described her as independent and often determined to provide for her family, despite facing ongoing financial and emotional challenges. In terms of education, Nucky completed high school and pursued temporary jobs in the service industry. Employment records show she alternated between part-time roles and brief contract work. She relied heavily on support from family members and close friends to balance parenting with income responsibilities. Socially, she maintained an active circle of friends both offline and online. Her social media pages reflected a blend of personal updates, photos of her children, and general posts about everyday life. People in her community describe her as approachable but often private when it came to personal problems. Regarding relationships, Nucky's life involved several partners, including the fathers of her three children. Records and social media evidence suggest she faced periods of strain and conflict within these relationships. Although no criminal complaints were filed publicly, online posts hinted at disagreements and emotional stress connected to family and relationship issues. Her community reputation was largely positive. Neighbors often saw her walking with her children or attending local gatherings. However, close contacts later told investigators she had been quieter in the weeks before her death, keeping to herself and limiting social contact. Those who interacted with her regularly described her as private but expressive online. She preferred social media as her main outlet for communication. There were no official mental health reports, but conversations recovered later showed moments of emotional exhaustion and stress. Did her past struggles silently shape the outcome of this case? Nucky Sylvester's Facebook account became a key part of the investigation. Over time, her posting habits revealed a gradual shift. She was active daily, posting photos of her children, sharing motivational quotes, and occasionally engaging in local discussions. However, in the month leading up to her death, the tone of her posts noticeably changed. Analysts reviewing her social media activity found that the frequency of positive posts decreased, replaced by vague, reflective, or somber messages. Some posts referenced disappointment and emotional fatigue.
I'm done! I'm fucking done! Fuck you! 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 I'm done!
While others mentioned feeling misunderstood, investigators observed that her last series of updates lacked engagement. Friends who previously commented frequently had started responding less. A review of her comment sections showed a mix of supportive and questioning remarks. Some followers appeared to notice changes, asking if she was okay or offering brief encouragement. There were also indirect posts possibly directed toward personal conflicts, though they were never specific.
I'm literally taking up space from my kids. I'm at a bathroom. I'm fucking horrible. I hate myself.
In her final days online, Nucky's posts carried an increasingly personal tone, with cryptic language and occasional quotes about pain and endurance. Investigators later labeled these as possible early indicators of distress. Could her online behavior have been an indirect cry for attention or help? On the night of her death, Nucky Sylvester made a Facebook post that would soon become the focal point of the case. The timestamp indicated that it was uploaded late in the evening, between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. The message was brief but unsettling, written in a tone suggesting finality. The content of the post included phrases implying hopelessness and closure. While she did not directly reference an intent to harm herself, the wording suggested that she had reached an irreversible decision. The post's phrasing and lack of context made it difficult for readers to interpret the seriousness of the message in real time. Within minutes, several friends reacted with concern. Some sent private messages asking if she was okay, while others commented under the post urging her to respond. Over the next hour, her account showed no further activity. The following morning, multiple friends attempted to reach her through calls and messages, receiving no response. The difference between this post and previous ones was evident. It lacked any accompanying photos or emojis and read more like a farewell note than a personal update. Did the message contain hidden clues? Should someone have acted sooner? The discovery occurred the following day after concerned relatives failed to reach her. Family members arrived at her residence to check on her welfare. Upon entry, they found her unresponsive. Emergency services were immediately contacted. The location was her home, a single-story residence she shared with her children. Law enforcement officers arrived shortly after the emergency call. The scene was secured, and investigators conducted a preliminary inspection. Her children were reported to be with relatives at the time of the incident, avoiding direct exposure to the event. Initial statements from family members indicated they had noticed recent mood changes, but were unaware of any immediate danger. Police officers documented no signs of forced entry or struggle, ruling out foul play in the early assessment. Evidence collected included her mobile phone, a laptop, and personal notes found nearby. What did investigators first notice that raised concern? The investigation began with an extensive review of her digital activity. Detectives obtained access to her Facebook account, private messages, and recent phone communications. The data revealed a sequence of emotional posts and conversations referencing stress related to personal relationships and financial difficulties. Text message logs showed exchanges with close friends expressing frustration and a sense of fatigue. Investigators noted that none of the recipients of those messages identified them as serious warning signs. Police interviewed multiple individuals, including family members, close friends, and previous partners. The focus of these interviews was to determine whether anyone was aware of her intentions or whether external pressure contributed to her death. Digital forensics teams also analyzed her phone and browser history. The findings included searches related to emotional distress and self-harm, indicating prior research on the subject. Financial documents reviewed showed minor financial struggles, but nothing severe enough to directly suggest motive. Based on gathered evidence, law enforcement concluded that her actions were self-inflicted. However, the investigation noted inconsistencies between her final online activity and her personal communications earlier that week, suggesting she may have concealed the depth of her struggles. Were there inconsistencies between what was posted online and what was found offline? In the aftermath, family members publicly expressed disbelief. They stated that Nucky had appeared normal in recent conversations and gave no clear indication of distress. Her relatives released a statement urging others to check on loved ones showing signs of withdrawal. Friends who had interacted with her online described her recent posts as different, but not alarming enough to suggest immediate risk. Some admitted that her last message only became significant after the news of her death broke. Community members discussed a growing concern around young adults using social media to express internal struggles. Public forums and local gatherings highlighted the need for awareness of emotional indicators online. Her final post circulated widely, leading to online discussions about mental health awareness, privacy, and digital communication. Viewers were reminded of the thin boundary between online appearances and hidden realities. Did those closest to her truly understand what she was going through? After the discovery of Nucky Sylvester's death, investigators focused on her digital footprint to understand her final hours. Law enforcement obtained a warrant to access her phone records, social media accounts, and browsing history. The analysis covered a 48-hour period before the incident, with particular focus on the 24 hours leading up to her final Facebook post. Her messages showed frequent communication with a small circle of contacts, mainly friends, family, and an individual identified as her recent partner. Conversations revealed moments of frustration, emotional fatigue, and a sense of personal isolation. Within hours of her final post, her outgoing messages stopped completely. Phone records confirmed several unanswered calls made by friends after her last message appeared online. No emergency calls were made from her device. Text message logs indicated short, abrupt replies earlier in the day, contrasting with her usual conversational style. Investigators noted this behavioral change but found no immediate signs of threats or external coercion. On social media, her activity was consistent until the day of the incident. Posts became sporadic, and her final post contained wording that suggested finality but did not explicitly indicate self-harm. Direct messages on Facebook and Messenger showed exchanges about personal stress, family issues, and financial concerns, but nothing overtly alarming enough to trigger intervention. A digital forensic review of her browsing history indicated multiple visits to pages discussing emotional struggles and coping mechanisms. Search history included phrases related to feeling tired of life and ways to relieve stress. These were reviewed by investigators as potential signs of declining mental stability. Police concluded that her digital evidence reflected a pattern of emotional withdrawal rather than interaction with external harm or online harassment. No evidence of cyberbullying, blackmail, or digital threats was found. The findings support the conclusion that her online activity depicted growing distress, yet no one around her interpreted the signs in time. Did her online activity tell a different story than what people believed? Investigators reviewed her medical and counseling history for evidence of prior mental health concerns. No official records indicated ongoing treatment for depression or anxiety. However, testimonies from family and acquaintances describe moments of mood shifts and emotional exhaustion. Close friends reported that Nucky often mentioned feeling overwhelmed by the responsibility of raising 3 children with limited support. She faced financial pressure, balancing childcare with minimal income sources. Relationship instability was also documented. She had experienced arguments and separation from her partner weeks before her death. Witness statements confirmed recent conflicts, including social media disputes and emotional strain caused by relationship stress. Some relatives describe her as struggling privately while maintaining a composed appearance publicly. No documentation existed of her seeking professional help, suggesting possible underreporting of her struggles. Community members later stated that Nucky appeared more distant in the weeks before the event, often canceling visits and withdrawing from group activities. These patterns indicate a combination of personal fatigue, relationship instability, and unaddressed emotional distress. Investigators determined that her challenges were consistent with cumulative stress factors. Was this tragedy preventable if early signs were recognized? In the week leading up to her final post, Nucky's behavior visibly changed. Phone activity decreased, and she spent more time alone, according to those close to her. Communication with family members became brief and infrequent. Within that week, a disagreement occurred between her and her partner regarding financial matters and childcare responsibilities. Friends stated that she appeared frustrated but did not indicate any intent towards self-harm. During her final days, she shared minimal updates online. One of her last posts before the incident contained vague statements interpreted as emotional fatigue. Investigators confirmed she deleted several earlier posts and messages, possibly to clear digital traces or reduce online attention. On the day of the incident, her interactions were limited to 2 brief text exchanges in the morning. No suspicious calls were made or received after midday. The tone of her final communications was notably short and distant. Did anyone notice a sudden change in her pattern of behavior? The autopsy confirmed that the cause of death was self-inflicted. Toxicology results showed the presence of mild sedatives consistent with over-the-counter medication, but no illegal substances or high alcohol levels were detected. The medical examiner found no physical signs of struggle or external interference, eliminating foul play. The time of death was estimated to be within hours of her final Facebook post. Investigators verified that no other individuals were present at the scene during that time frame. All forensic evidence, including digital timestamps, corroborated a self-directed act rather than a crime involving another party. The physical environment supported this conclusion. There were no signs of forced entry or external disturbance. Do the forensic details align with the emotional narrative seen online? After weeks of review, local authorities classified the case as a suicide. Their report cited digital evidence, forensic results, and testimonies as consistent with intentional self-harm. No charges were filed, and the investigation was closed following confirmation from medical and digital analyses. However, the official report left several questions unresolved. Family members questioned whether external pressure or emotional manipulation may have contributed to her decision. Some pointed to her online posts as evidence of distress that could have been intercepted by intervention programs or acquaintances. Investigators maintained that no external party directly influenced her final decision. The report's findings were based on factual data, search history, communication logs, and autopsy consistency. Was justice truly served, or were key details overlooked? Following the release of the official findings, the community responded with discussions on the warning signs visible in online behavior. Social media users revisited her final post, many expressing concern that subtle signs of distress had gone unnoticed. Local organizations initiated awareness campaigns promoting mental health check-ins and online crisis response awareness. Her case was referenced in community forums addressing how digital posts may reflect unspoken distress. Memorial pages were created online to remember her and to encourage open conversations about mental health among young mothers facing stress and isolation. Family members organized vigils to highlight the importance of recognizing behavioral changes before they escalate. The incident also led to broader conversations about the role of social media in revealing mental states. Experts analyzed her case as an example of overlooked digital indicators, emphasizing the importance of monitoring online patterns as potential early warnings. What can be learned from this case to prevent future tragedies? If this story has kept your attention, do not forget to like this video and share it with others. For more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind tragic events, subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay updated with our latest investigations, reports, and discussions. Thank you for joining us in this pursuit of truth and justice. Together, we can shed light where darkness remains. Until next time, stay safe and stay vigilant.